So we all remember that viral moment that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant had on Cam Newton's couch when she criticized him for creating broken families. For example,
you're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there.
Now, obviously, this is the internet, and people started taking sides, going back and forth, and they're going just buck wild over these comments. Even men were praising her and siding with her. Take this for an example.
Hey man, she's right. It doesn't matter how much money you might have or how active you might think you are. When you have to split your time between a large amount of kids, let alone the multiple mothers that you created these kids with, bro, you're never gonna have enough time to properly raise these kids. That's the point she was getting at. There's 8 kids and 3 baby moms. And on top of that, saying that you want more kids, there's even less time to split between the ones you already have. Then adding on that you want to get married, but your fear of divorce makes you wait and bide your time until you do so, is gonna be even less time to your wife and the kids that come out of that marriage. You gotta see and understand how that's gonna affect these children. Then peep this too, on the days that you're gonna go spend the time with the kids that aren't in those marriage, how's your wife gonna feel? She's not gonna have time either. This is a situation where money can't solve everything. You can't be everywhere at the same time. No matter how good your fathering skills are, if you're not there to actually use them, bro, what's the point? Somebody at some point is gonna be affected by something, bro, and that's inevitable. Even if you have all your kids, you have them living with you, which he said he does. Here's the kicker. You gotta have their mothers in the house with them, and then your wife too. That's the best possible outcome for the kids to grow up the right way. But the possibility of that happening is slim to none. So hey, you gotta hear what she's saying, my brother.
Obviously, we all have a difference of opinion, but today we're gonna be looking at the facts of what actually qualifies as a broken home. We're gonna have the tough conversation, and some of you might not like it. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of BMSL. I am your host, Ghost, and today we got to talk about, well, you see the title, the broken home epidemic. And I also want to give a special shout out to the 47th President of the United States. I and many others hope for a peaceful transfer of power, but we all know that it's not over yet. We're not out of the woods. And so hopefully January 6th doesn't happen again, but we'll just have to wait and see. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. So, over the past few months, the word or the phrase broken home has been thrown out due to viral interviews like you just saw at the beginning of the video from Cheyenne Bryant. Now, to define it, and that's what we're going to do today, we have to look at Google under the textbook definition of what a broken home is. And so according to Google, a broken home is defined as a family in which the parents are divorced or separated. I'll say that one more time. A broken home is defined as a family in which the parents are divorced or separated. Let me also say that rich and successful men live a different life than 99.9% of all the people in the world. Now, for us to throw stones and say that they're wrong for creating broken homes is disingenuous, because we don't live their life. We don't have just $100 million cash just sitting in the bank, investments, and then real estate. I mean, like, we just don't live that type of life. So we should not throw stones and hide hands just for shits and giggles, right? But moving on.
You could not live with your own failure.
But it's not just enough to define that definition. We have to look at, over the last 30 to 40 years, why are there so many broken homes being created and what factors play a part in that? Okay, and in order to define that question, we have to go back to the 1960s and look at a few key factors. Now, number one is the abortion pill in the advancement of medical technology. We all know this came after World War II, and we started using it to advance our society. It did some harm, but it also did some good. The second factor is welfare expansion, which began in 1964. Now, this is key because to get TANF, Section 8, WIC, EBT, you have to be making under a certain amount of money depending on your family size. And so essentially it's an unspoken encouragement to not have two adults in the house. So many people, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, well, I'm making $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. I have 4 kids, 4 different baby daddies. Okay, we need help. And so they'll be able to get all those benefits and stay on Section 8 for as long as they have somebody in the house. Now, don't quote me because I don't necessarily know everything that goes into getting Section 8, WIC, TANF, all those type of deals. However, from what I've heard and from what I've read on Google, you have to meet certain requirements, and that's all that I'm going to be talking about here. Additionally, the last key factor is feminism, known as the second wave, which took place between the 1960s and 1970s. It's focused heavily on equality and discrimination, similar to what we see today. However, today is on a whole nother scale. So far, I hope my case is becoming crystal clear, but this is not where it stops. With total government control over the poor, they still are not finished because there's always outliers that want to go to college, they want to better themselves, but how can they do that with no money? The federal government, leave it to them because they have it all figured out. Okay, so we're going to review a breakdown by a creator whose name is Michon Live, who dives deep into the college structure that's set up.
We're only going to talk about 5. That was just the lead in, okay? First one, again, being the federal Pell Grant. The Pell Grant is America's largest student aid program. It provides grants up to $6,495 to the neediest students to attend college. In 2019 alone, over 28 billion in Pell Grants for school were awarded to nearly 7 million students nationwide, including nearly 60% of Black students and nearly half of Latinx students. So while it does say 60% Black, anyone can get this loan if you are income based. So it's not necessarily women, but since mostly women go to college, that's something that they want to claim. Even though I'm sure someone will come and listen to this and say, see, even the men's, they taking it. Okay, sis, whatever you say, change it however you want to. The facts are the facts. We know it's mostly women, okay? This need-based grant offers one way for single mothers of limited means to go back to school and re-enter the workforce, and it's free money that does not need to be repaid. So then it tells you how to apply. Obviously, you go to FAFSA, right? Fine. If they got all this money and they're giving out $28 billion, I'm confused as to why there's so much student loan debt and why Black women continue to be at the high end of that, right? The Federal Work Study Grant. Federal Work Study is a federally subsidized financial aid program that gives single parent students a way to earn money by doing part-time work on or off campus, often in their chosen field of study. Students may work up to 20 hours a week and receive monthly paycheck based on an hourly wage, which they can use for educational purposes. However, this earn while you study option will work only if you have minimal living expenses and have family support to meet your childcare needs. So in other words, you better have a way for your kids to be watched while you go to work and while you're going to school. There's federal work study. So that's 2. Then there's 3, federal student loan. For single mothers going back to school who need more assistance beyond Pell Grants, student loans, either subsidized or unsubsidized, are often offered as a part of a total financial aid package.
Now, it's my belief that here in the West, it's far more beneficial to the ones in charge to keep promoting the ideas that keep people stagnant. It's human nature not to take the road less traveled, but to take the easiest available option. Now, this is true in dating, and it's also true here as well. If I was benefiting from doing nothing every single day, why would I change? You see, these are the real factors overall that are creating the broken homes. The government overreach, whatever the case may be. In reality, you think that they are there to help, but they're really there to keep you stagnant, because the real factors that are creating these broken homes are these federal programs. Now, wealthy men, again, always have procreated with whoever they wanted, with as many women as they wanted, as long as they could afford it. Genghis Khan, King David, King Solomon, Abraham, Moses, Jacob, Joseph. Do I need to go on? These are all wealthy men. Okay, we're already practicing this type of relationship style today, with people remarrying after they've had kids. I mean, things like that. So we already know this is prevalent in this society. Now, generally, all parties are taken care of, especially if he's wealthy, including the mothers. So are wealthy men creating the broken homes, or is the system creating broken homes? You guys let me know. Of course, I have my opinion. You guys have yours. I'd be interested to see what you guys think down in the comment section below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is the only form of support I have. The goal is 500 subscribers. Now we hit 100, and that was a huge goal. The next goal is going to be 500, and if you guys can help me get there, I'll forever be grateful to you guys. One more thing before I let you guys go. Next week, I'm having wisdom teeth surgery, but I will be ready this time. Keep rocking with me, guys. I promise you, we are going to give you guys the best content possible, entertainment, edutainment, whatever the case may be. Not to take up too much of your time, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. And for those of you who stayed to the end of the video, I am going to be revamping the YouTube channel, trying to be a little bit more professional. And let me know what you guys think about the setup that I have back here, and let me know what you guys think about the intro and outro as well. I'll put it in here. You'll be able to see it. Okay, I appreciate you. I love you guys. For the most faithful of you that make it to the end of my videos, salute. Peace.
On the block, disobeying the law. From the